afternoon and welcome back to the Analyst Vajiram and Ravi, where we bring to you detailed discussion of important articles from Hindu and Indian Express. So today is 12th of January, which is also celebrated as National Youth Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekanand. And on this auspicious day, let's take up the analysis of the 5 most important news articles. What are they? Let's have a look. So the first article is about an editorial coverage covered by The Hindu. This is about the India-Bangladesh relationship, which has gained impetus ever since Sheikh Hasina recently has taken the oath of being the Prime Minister of Bangladesh for 5th time in a row. Then in the second one, we will read about world's largest urban sanitation survey conducted by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This is Swachh Survekshan Awards. We will look into who has won these awards, and we will also lay a special focus on Indore city as it has managed to be the most cleanest city for the 7th time in a row. Then we will read about the World's Court, that is the International Court of Justice, because the hearings of the genocide case against Israel is going on. Next, from prelims point of view, we will be reading about a trade policy forum between India and USA, which is commencing the meeting from today. And finally, we will wind up the discussion with a policy analysis of the Agneepath Scheme as it has been recently highlighted by the Chief of Army Staff. So, let's start the discussion. So our first topic is about India and Bangladesh relations. Why is this in news? Because Ms. Sheikh Hasina for the record 5th time has managed to become the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. This also largely makes Bangladesh a single party democracy, which can be a point of concern for a multi-party democracy like India. But let's see how we unfold our relationship with Bangladesh. But for now, the editorial itself covers that India stands assured of continuity in excellent bilateral relationship it has with the Bangladesh, because Indian government has had a good relationship with the Sheikh Hasina's regime. So this is important for us from GS2 point of view, where we have to read about India and its neighborhood relationships. So to begin the story of India and Bangladesh, let's first understand that the friendship story of India and Bangladesh is very deep rooted and very old in fact. India has had civilizational, cultural, social and economic ties with Bangladesh ever since it was not even a country, because historically it was a part of India only. It was only after the British policy of dividing India and Pakistan that Bangladesh was accorded the status of East Pakistan. And later, when it was tormented by the rule of Pakistan, then it wanted to have liberation. And India helped Bangladesh to gain the same. So henceforth, Bangladesh was helped by India, and finally the Indo-Pak War led to liberation of Bangladesh in the year of 1971. And this also made India the first ever country to officially recognize the independent status of Bangladesh, and also the first country in the world to establish diplomatic ties with Bangladesh. So this is the start of the diplomatic story between India and Bangladesh. Now, if we see how Bangladesh is cardinally important to India, what are the significances brought in by Bangladesh for us? First and foremost is this very strategic position of Bangladesh. If you analyze the northeastern map of India, you will be able to see that Bangladesh shares boundary with India from all the 3 sides, and it is open on the seaward side to the Bay of Bengal from the 4th side. Now, when you observe this map, you will be able to see one choke point. This is this chicken neck corridor. So when you want to connect the mainland India with the northeastern India, you only have got a very little chunk of land to move through it when you want to cater with your own, or when you want to explore through your own territorial boundaries. But it is through the Bangladesh where the connectivity can be drastically enhanced, because Bangladesh comes in between the mainland India and the northeastern India. So first of all, this is the strategical placement of Bangladesh. Second, Bangladesh shares the largest boundary, or India shares the largest boundary with Bangladesh. So because it has a huge boundary with Bangladesh, therefore to take care of the borders of Bangladesh would also take care of the internal and external security threats that can be posed upon India. You can also see that there are multiple states of India that borders Bangladesh. The northeastern states are Mizoram, Tripura, Assam, Meghalaya, and your West Bengal. So these 5 states essentially also share border with Bangladesh. So to take care of any insurgent activities that can inculcate into them or that can penetrate into them, or any kind of terrorist activities that can come, we have to make sure that we are taking care of the Indo-Bangladesh border. That is the strategic importance of Bangladesh for us. Second, it is also gateway to the northeast. As I have already told you, we are connected to the northeast is connected to the mainland India only by a very small chicken neck corridor, and so Bangladesh can boost the connectivity a lot if we have good ties with Bangladesh. Second, it also acts as the natural pillar of the Act East policy. So India has had neighborhood policies in the name of Neighborhood First policy, Act East policy, and Bangladesh is in fact the main pillar of these policies, because once you boost the relationship with Bangladesh, it also facilitates our relationship with the other Southeast Asian nations and also further beyond. So that is the significance of geopolitical significance of Bangladesh for us. Then it also helps us to secure the sea lanes of communication. The most important trade lanes or the maritime lanes are converging in the Bay of Bengal region, and Bay of Bengal shares border with both India and Bangladesh. So if you want to have secure sea lanes of communication, and also you want to counter the China's influence, the growing China's aggressive policy on the sea lanes of communication, you need to have good relationship with Bangladesh as well. So this is the strategic importance of Bangladesh. Now, what is the economic advantage? What is the economic importance of Bangladesh for us? Bangladesh has got, or India has got, the largest bilateral trade among any Southeast Asian nations with Bangladesh. So it is with Bangladesh which provides us the largest number of exports. It is the Bangladesh through which our exports has grown tremendously and exponentially over the decade. So much so that even COVID couldn't alter it. Even during the COVID, it was noted that 14% of growth in the trade balance between the two countries was observed. So such is the kind of trade robustness that is seen between India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is also the largest facilitator, the largest beneficiary of the line of credit loans that are provided from Indian side. So these are some of the economic ties, but this is not all, because we also know that we have one thing in common, that is the coastal boundaries. Because of the coastal boundaries, we also can appreciate the blue economy. So blue economy would want to influence different sectors, for example livelihood, for example food security, fisheries, tourism, etc., sustainable agriculture, etc. In order to work across these multiple sectors holistically, we need to join hands with Bangladesh again. So it can also help us to boost the blue economy, not just of Bangladesh but also of India. Second, India has also permitted duty-free trade access to the Bangladeshi imports that are coming to India, and that is one of the reasons why Bangladesh is giving us the maximum number of exports. So here we can see that Bangladeshi imports are duty trade free, and this is done under SAFTA, the South Asian Free Trade Agreement of 2011. We also have got cooperation in blue economy. So these are some of the economic importance, but this is not enough. We have also got cooperation in the terms of energy and connectivity. India and Russia has made ties to install a Rooppur atomic power facility in Bangladesh. Second, we are also laying multiple cross-border infrastructure projects in Bangladesh. So there are multiple power plants, thermal power plants that are set up, electricity grids that are set up with the aid and advice of India. There is also a rail link, a very famous one, the Akhora and Agartala of Tripura, connecting between them. So this is a cross-border connectivity infrastructure, and we also have got Maitri Setu between Bangladesh and northeastern India. Then India-Bangladesh friendship pipeline is to provide the uninterrupted flow of high quality diesel or high quality oil from India to Bangladesh. So this friendship pipeline is for oil import and export, and this is built across Siliguri of India and Parbatipur of Bangladesh. India and Bangladesh, naturally because they are neighbors, they also take participation in multiple forums and multiple foras. So which includes your SAARC, BIMSTEC, Indian Ocean Rim Association, all of them have got contribution from India and Bangladesh. So these are some of the significance or importance of Bangladesh for us. But then the relationships are constrained by some other factors as well. There are certain challenges pertaining to India-Bangladesh relationship. And first of all is the river dispute. See, when you look into the map of India and Bangladesh, you will be able to see that the two main rivers of India, that is Ganga and Brahmaputra, are eventually flowing to Bangladesh before entering into Bay of Bengal. Not only Ganga and Brahmaputra, there are multiple other streams as well, counting up to total 54 number of rivers which share their boundaries, which shares their flow across India and Bangladesh. So we have to manage, because with the sharing of the rivers will also come the water dispute, the sharing of the water resources between them. So the first challenge is the ongoing water disputes. Among these 52 rivers, only 2 have got legal treaties of sharing. These are the Ganga and Kushiara rivers, but other like the Teesta river, the Feni rivers, they are still highly contagious, highly controversial because of the lack of any consensual treaty between them. So the topic of sharing water resources, to how much proportion should it be shared, that is the biggest bone of contention between India and Bangladesh. Next is the border management. The kind of border that India-Bangladesh has is rather porous. It is not very difficult to traverse, rather it is very easy, it is very porous. That is why a lot of smuggling of wildlife, smuggling of humans, especially children and women, all of that can very easily take place through India-Bangladesh border. You can also see a lot of drug smuggling taking place, and this is more so important when we have got a drug triangle across the eastern borders of Southeast Asia. So border management is also one among the biggest challenges. This has also led to the growing menace of illegal migrants that were coming in India ever since the independence, that is since 1947. Then there is growing Chinese influence. You can see that Bangladesh is an active partner of Belt and Road Initiative, and this is not the case for the India, because India opposes the Belt and Road Initiative. So we also have to see whether Bangladesh keeps in check its growing relationship with China. So its growing relationship with China is also one among the concerns for India's relationship with this country. So what can be the way forward? First and foremost, we need to take care of the border management or the related Naxalism, the related insurgency or terrorism that can penetrate into the borders of India. Because we know that many of the insurgent groups that are there in Northeast, they have found their groundings, their fields in the pockets of Bangladesh as well. In fact, Bangladesh is one of the breeding ground of many insurgent groups of India. And therefore, what is important is that we have enforcement agencies not just from India but also from Bangladesh to collaborate with each other, to share intelligence data with each other, and finally have a collaborative effort against such activities like insurgency, terrorism, etc. Then we need to have smart border management, borders which are equipped with artificial intelligence, with Internet of Things like technology, with also data analytics, so that we can have proper surveillance and proper tracking. So smart border management is again very important. A good step in this direction is the BOLD QIT developed by Indian Army. So this is the border electronically dominated QRT interception technique. This is a kind of smart fence which has been laid across the border of India and Bangladesh to deal with the problem of porosity. And then we need to have digital connectivity and not just infrastructural connectivity. So by digital connectivity, we mean that there should be lines of high-speed internet. There should be interconnection between India and Bangladesh. We already know that from economy point of view, there are border hearts that are set up by India in order to integrate Indian economy with the local market of Bangladesh and vice versa. But we also need to integrate each other's citizens digitally so that proper surveillance can take place, proper communication can take place, and also we can have proper cut down on the insurgent activities. So we need to have digitally connected corridor between India and Bangladesh. So this was about this particular topic's discussion. Coming to the next topic, this is Swachh Survekshan Awards of 2023, which has been recently released by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So this is actually an annual kind of award that is given to the best performing or the most clean cities and states of the India. And in this particular award, it can be revealed that both Indore and Surat of Gujarat, Indore of Madhya Pradesh, have been declared as the cleanest cities of the country. So let's start to begin this discussion. So first of all, let's learn what is this Swachh Survekshan Award and when did it start. So Swachh Survekshan Award for the first time started in the year 2016, and this was a follow-up follow-up of the scheme Swachh Bharat Abhiyan or Swachh Bharat Mission, which started in the year 2014 explicitly on 2nd of October 2014, because this is the birth date of Mahatma Gandhi. So when Swachh Bharat Mission was launched, in order to have competitive federalism set up across multiple states, multiple cities, so that they crave to perform their best in order to achieve goals of Swachh Bharat Mission, a kind of survey was created after 2 years. In the year 2016, Swachh Survekshan awards were declared. So at the time when it was started, it was only for about 75 cities, but now it covers almost all the cities of India, and it is therefore accorded as the largest urban sanitation survey of the world. It is also a competitive framework where every city and state will be judged on certain set parametrics or certain standards, and on the basis of them ranking will be created. So this is a kind of competitive federalism. So you can take example of this in your mains answers also, in your mains answers examples. Then it can also help us to improve the status of urban sanitation while encouraging another thing, that is nudging the people to do the right thing, that is to have large scale citizen participation via nudge effect. This is under the Swachh Bharat Mission Urban. So let me first elaborate on the Swachh Bharat Mission. So this is the India's or world's largest cleanest drive taken up by world's largest democracy, India. It was launched on 2nd of October 2014, and in order to manage it aerial wise, an aerial differentiation was made. So it has got now two branches. One is the Gramin branch, that is which is going to work in the rural areas, and second which is going to work in the urban areas, because both of them will be having different needs or different urban sanitation needs, hierarchies and priorities. Therefore the Gramin part, the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin part, will be managed by Ministry of Jal Shakti. Please remember, this is not Ministry of Rural Development, this is Ministry of Jal Shakti, and the urban part will be taken care of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And because here we are going to survey across the urban cities, therefore Swachh Survekshan award is not taken up by Ministry of Jal Shakti rather than by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, because this is a part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan urban branch. Okay, now this is undertaken by this ministry, and its implementation partner is the Quality Control of India, which is also a statutory body responsible for establishing quality metrics across multiple sectors of India. Then what is the methodology for measuring the cleanliness? So how do you measure whether Indore is really clean or not? There are two metrics for it. First of all, you have to go to citizens and ask their feedback. How do they perceive the cleanliness of their surroundings? Second, you have to make the field assessment, and the field assessments will mostly be made across the landfills or the garbage piling lands. So here field assessment and feedback, both of them are taken into account, and then a ranking is calculated. So Swachh Bharat Mission 1.0 was launched in 2014. The idea was to declare India as open defecation free. And once we have achieved this target, now a revamped Swachh Bharat Mission has been relaunched in 2021, 1st of October 2021. And this is to ensure complete access to sanitation facilities for all, leaving no city, no person, no area, no rural district aside. So here the vision is to develop a complete garbage free India. So now earlier the agenda was to have open defecation free India. Now we are having agenda of garbage free India. So this is the idea of Swachh Bharat Mission and the related Survekshan awards. Now let's have a quick look into the results in the ranking. So the results and rankings revealed. So first of all, there's a designation. There are divisions made on the basis of population. So cities are divided as population with having population more than 10 lakh, and cities those are having population less than 1 lakh. So among those cities having population more than 10 lakh, the first one is Indore and Surat. Second is not applicable. Third one is Navi Mumbai. Fourth is Visakhapatnam, and fifth is Bhopal. So for MP people, we have got two cities from MP state. Then what are the cleanest cities? Top 5 cleanest cities within the bracket or less than the 1 lakh bracket. First one is Saswat of Maharashtra, Patan of Gujarat, Lonavala of Maharashtra, Karad of Maharashtra. So here you will see that in the top 5, 4 are from Maharashtra. So such statements can be asked, and you have to be mindful about them. Then across the states, if we see the topmost state as we see is Maharashtra, second is Madhya Pradesh, third is Chhattisgarh, and in the bottom 5 unfortunately we have got northeastern states. First is Tripura, second is Nagaland, then we have Rajasthan, then Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. So in the bottom 5, 4 are from northeast. So which means that special focus needs to be put in the northeastern Swachh Bharat mission. Along with this, the cleanest Ganga towns have been declared as Varanasi and Prayagraj, and Chandigarh has been declared as very uniquely the city with best or the safest city for the sanitation worker or the Safai Karmachari. So this is the result in the ranking. Now as you can see that Indore has been on the top since multiple years. So it was only in the year of 2016 when it first started that Indore was in the 25th rank. And ever since 2016, ever since in fact 2017 till today, Indore has always come to first position. So this makes a very good study for us to understand that what has accorded or what has given Indore the capacities to top this rank every time. So the story of Indore becoming the cleanest city starts from the year 2016, where it was unfortunately ranked at a low of 25. This alarmed the administration, the district administration, and all of them started targeting the various indicators mapped in the survey. So basically what they did, they understood the syllabus very carefully. Just like how we always advise people to study the UPSC syllabus, then only you will be able to forge good marks. So here what they did, they explicitly read the metrics, the standards and the syllabus given or that were set as the standards of the Swachh Survekshan survey. So now what they did, they took it as a list, they took it as a step-by-step challenge and they targeted each one of the indicators. Now as you can see, what are the broad indicators? The broad indicator first of all is to have good citizen feedback, and second is to have field assessment. So for that, first of all, you need to make citizens aware, you need to have a nudge effect given on the citizens so that they ensure cleanliness from their own side. And second, you need to ensure that you're scoring well in the field assessment also by keeping the landfills clean and by managing the waste collection and waste treatment. So Indore particularly targeted both of these things. How will it do it? Let's have a look. So first of all, it made strong changes to the sanitation and waste collection system of the Indore. So initially it was seen that it was the waste collection was taken up by private bodies. So all those private bodies were shooed off and eventually it was taken up by the municipality of Indore, the Nagar Nigam of Indore. So first of all, Nagar Nigam took up the effort in its hand for the waste collection and the sanitation collection and the sanitation awareness. Second, they also wanted to have a nudge effect. So what is nudge effect? It's an economic theory which states that people choose to do what is easy and convenient for them as compared to what is good for them and for the society. So in order to make them do the right thing, we have to make the right thing easy and convenient for them. That is called the nudge theory. So here, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and this survey or the Indore administration started using the application of nudge effect by popularizing these initiatives. So first of all, what is the newly made waste collection system? This is by terminating the private contract, first of all, giving the contract in the hands of Nagar Nigam, and then direct collection of waste from the household, which means now I will not want the households to come to the dustbin, I will go to them. This is a nudge effect where we are making the thing which is good, we are making it easier as well. So therefore door-to-door collection of waste started taking place, segregated waste started taking place. You will be given 2 dustbins, the green one and the blue one, and you have to segregate your dry waste and the wet waste. That is the first thing. So this is how the nudge effect took place. Then while these municipality vehicles are moving across, they will also play a sound. For example, Gaadi Wala Aaya, etc. So all these songs were played, and this is again to bring in the awareness, to enhance the awareness of the people without any additional initiatives or without any additional fund allocation for, say, advertisement, promotion, etc. So this was a very innovative and brilliant idea from the Indore administration. Another thing was the waste segregation at the source. So first of all, it mandated for the household to segregate their waste into dry waste and the wet waste, and which will be collected door to door, and the wet waste will be converted into compost immediately and it will be sold by the municipality. So basically they are making waste to wonder. They are trying to generate revenue from the waste collected, and then they will again invest it back into the Swachh Bharat mission. And for the dry waste, they decided to create a treatment plant in 2016 at Dev Goradia of Indore. So here there are two provisions for the dry waste and the wet waste. Now, in order to enhance the awareness, there will be incentive-based promotion done by the civil society organization. So NGOs will be pulled in and they will be given some incentive. So if an NGO is to go to multiple household, he will be paid on the basis of awareness created or survey done per household. So this is how even civil society organization was effectively roped in. Then addressal of the legacy waste. Legacy waste is that which is piled up for a huge number of years, for a lot number of years in the landfills or in the waste grounds. So they started addressing that also by first of all segregating the waste and taking a lot of dry waste, municipal solid waste into the Dev Goradia plant, and therefore treating and cleaning 13 lakh metric ton of waste. Therefore, from 2017, waste piles, landfills were nowhere to be found in Indore, and that is the biggest reason why Indore every time tops this ranking. So, in order to get a 5-star rating in Swachh Bharat Mission, one of the key criteria is that 75% of the waste should be treated at the dumping site only. And where was this plant, this treatment plant? This treatment plant was near the dumping site only. The treatment plant of Dev Goradia was near dumping site only. And henceforth, Indore also achieves 5-star rating in Swachh Bharat Mission. Then it also called for multiple innovations. For example, the people who were driving used to spit, he used to throw the waste on the road in order to avoid that. They were given dustbins. The vehicle owners were given dustbins, and about 1,000 such dustbins were distributed for the vehicles, for the car owners also. Then oath of cleanliness was taken by lakhs of people, administered by the administration, municipality, political people. Then there were penalties as well. There was on the spot fines of 250 to 500 rupees against the people who were creating the menace against cleanliness, that is spitting on the road or urinating in open or littering. And for the habitual offenders, there was another social theory created. This was the public shaming effect, for creating the deterrence of the habitual offenders. So they were either, their names were published in newspapers or broadcasted on the radio in order to give a sense of shame, so that they pick up the social responsibility and become more responsible citizen. And this is how Indore was able to continuously set up first rank in the Swachh Survekshan survey. Now coming to the third topic, this is about World's Court, the highest justice court of the world, International Court of Justice. And why is this in news? Because of the ongoing hearings of the genocidal case against Israel, which is made by South Africa, the land of Nelson Mandela. So because of this context, we'll be reading about this very important organization, which is extremely important from prelims point of view. So first of all, this is principal judicial organ of United Nations, that is the highest appeal body across the world when it comes to seeking dispute redressal that is related with the worldly affair. So this is the principal judicial organization which is under United Nations. United Nations, as we know, has got 6 principal organs. For example, Security Council, United Nations Economic and Social Council, Secretariat, Trusteeship, General Assembly, and finally we also have International Court of Justice as one among the 6 principal organizations. Now this body was for the first time set up in the year 1945 by a charter put forward by United Nations General Assembly. Its headquarters is in the Peace Palace, which is situated in Netherlands, that is the Hague of Netherlands. So this question can be asked in the form of a statement in prelims examination, that where is it headquartered, because all the 5 organs are situated, all the 5 other principal organs of United Nations are situated in New York. Except for International Court of Justice, which is situated in The Hague. Then the hearings of this particular Court of Justice is always made public. This is very important point of view. And second is, the official language of the court are only 2. English and French. Now you must remember there are total 6 official languages of United Nations. One is Arabic, then there is Chinese, then there is English, then there is French, then there is Russian, then there is Spanish. But only 2 have been made the official languages of the International Court of Justice. Now, let's move a step ahead and study about the powers and the functions accorded to the International Court of Justice. So first of all, the type of cases it takes are largely of two types. One are the contentious cases and second are the advisory cases. So contentious cases is when there is a legal dispute ongoing between two countries or multiple cities of different countries. So here is a legal dispute between parties and the states, so the parties here concerned submit it to them. What is the eligibility to file a contentious case? First of all, you have to be a member of the United Nations, or either you have to accept the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice. Only then you will be eligible to put forward a case in the International Court of Justice. This particular genocide case against Israel that is put forward by South Africa is therefore a contentious case. And second are the advisory proceedings. So many a times the other principal organs of United Nations or other specialized bodies, for example UNESCO, WHO, etc., they also feel like coming to the Court of Justice and asking for the advisor or the advisories. So for that purpose, advisory proceedings are also taken up, and they can be taken up not by the nations but only by the specialized body or by the principal organs. Now, once the results are declared, in the case of contentious cases, the results are binding on the party and they cannot appeal. They cannot appeal anywhere else. The case can only be revised. The result can only be revised, but it cannot be appealed. But in the case of advisory proceeding, they are non-binding on the parties. Now, what are the metrics? For example, in India, the guiding light is the Indian Constitution. What is the guiding light in this case? So they go across multiple international conventions, in fact customs as well. They go across multiple writings of most highly qualified experts on international law. So here we are not just looking into constitution of one nation or say charter of United Nations, but we'll be also looking across the international customs, also on the writings of the lawyers. So this can also be asked, so this is an important point to note. And finally, what is the composition of International Court of Justice? So International Court of Justice is composed of not 5, not 10, but 15 judges, and they have to act in independent capacity, which means that if Dalveer Bhandari from India is going to ICJ, he'll no more be concerned with the Indian cases as such. He will be independently acting as a judge of ICJ. So the court is composed of 15 judges from all the different countries, and the judges are to be there for a tenure of 9 years. And they will be appointed under absolute majority by the United Nations General Assembly, but not just this, also by the United Nations Security Council. So by absolute majority, they are appointed for a term of 9 years. They are also eligible for re-election. This is important. That is why Dalveer Bhandari from India was re-elected for the second time as well. Now you can see that from India there have been 4 such people who have acted as the judges of ICJ. Then the 1/3 of the judges have to be renewed, just like Rajya Sabha, 1/3 have to be renewed in every 3 years. So this is how the shuffling of judges takes place. And judges, as I've already told you, have to act in the independent capacity, which means that from now on, once they take the oath and affirmation, they will no more be the delegate of the government of their country or any other state. So this was all about International Court of Justice from prelims point of view. Now coming to another topic. This is India-US Trade Policy Forum, because meeting is going to start from today. So this is a very unique kind of fora where the two countries sit together and talk about boosting their trades and investment. These two countries are India and USA, since these two countries are very, very important from world economic growth point of view as well. Therefore, this policy forum is watched out by different stakeholders across the world. So let's have a look that what is this Trade Policy Forum. It got established for the first time in the year 2005 to discuss about the trade and the investment issues that are going on between India and USA. But it did not cover all the kind of sectors between all the kind of issues pertaining to trade and investment. It covers only 5 sectors. These 5 sectors are agriculture, investment, innovation and creativity, which means intellectual property right, services, tariffs and non-tariff barriers. So these are the 5 main focus groups of Trade Policy Forum between India and USA. When was it established? In July 2005. And what is the explicit aim? The aim is, first of all, to develop and implement the trade policies through very transparent procedures which are communicated well, which are also in line with international obligations, for example WTO. Second, to foster a conducive environment for technological collaboration and innovation. Then, to promote inclusive economic growth and job creation. This is a very important point. Economic growth and job creation, not just in India but also in USA. This is the idea of this Trade Policy Forum. Who co-chairs it? Definitely the Minister of Commerce and Industry from India, and from USA we have United States Trade Representatives. So both of them co-chair these forums. So what is the main bone of contention which needs to be discussed on a priority basis in this forum? For this time around, it is about the revision of generalized system of preferences. So generalized system of preferences is a kind of trade preference, the largest and the oldest trade preference program by the USA government. So where it gives some kind of import duties discount or tariff discount on the imports on some of the products coming from some of the countries. These countries are total 120 in number. So some of the products, eligible products coming from these beneficiary countries, will be given complete off on their import duties. And this will eventually facilitate them to export their products in USA, which is a large market. And this is aided by the system of GSP, Generalized System of Preferences. India was in fact the largest beneficiary of GSP till 2017, where about $6 billion worth of its imports were completely given off to US without any import duty. But then when the Donald Trump regime came, he understands that there is a huge trade deficit going on between India and USA. We will explain that in the second slide. And because of that huge trade deficit, to cover that, USA decided to discontinue or take away the beneficiary status of India from GSP. So therefore, India has lost its benefit in the year 2019. So now we want to talk about India, that India should resume or India should be given back the generalized system of preferences. So now once we have understood what is the India-US Trade Policy Forum about, let's also understand the trade dynamics between India and USA. Now you must be surprised to know that India has a trade surplus with USA, which means that we export more products as compared to what we import from them. You can also see this from the data given below. So India's export to US in the terms of merchandise is 73. This is the data of 2021, but it retains the status in the year of 2023 as well. In the services, it is 28. But when you see for USA, how much does US export to India? It is only 39 as against 73. It is only 16 as against 28, which means that we are definitely in a large trade surplus when it comes to USA, which means we are the primary exporters to USA. So when we talk about the Indo-USA bilateral trade, we have got a whooping bilateral trade of about $600 billion. This is the amount of trade that we have, trade and investment that we have across each other. Then about the FDIs, we see that USA invests about $60 billion, has invested about $60 billion to India. And India quite lags behind, and India has only managed to invest or have FDI of $40 billion. So you can see from this curve as well that the FDI investment of USA in India is large as compared to that in India. And these statements can also be beneficial in prelims. Then we have also got strategic deals. So India has decided, Air India specifically, has decided to take up about 200 Boeing aircrafts from USA. This is likely to give huge impetus to the US economy by providing more than 1 million jobs. So as I've already told you that this forum, this strategic deal was a resultant of this forum, one of the meeting of this forum, which was responsible for having youth inclusive economic development and also facilitating job growths. So this is some of the highlights of India-US Trade Policy Forum. Now coming to the last topic and a very important scheme, this is the Agneepath Scheme, which has been highlighted by the Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Pandey, who has reiterated that in order to create the final draft of the Agneepath Scheme, proper consultative process has been undergone. So this is very important from two sectors. First of all, the defense and security, and second, because this is a government policy and initiative. So first of all, what are the details of the scheme? This is a kind of youth induction program into the Indian Armed Forces. So this is where the motivated youths will be incentivized to join the Indian Armed Forces, and these youths, the inducted youths, will be known as Agniveers. A large recruitment drive will be held where about 45,000 to 50,000 soldiers will be recruited on annual basis. And they will be recruited for 4 years, which means they have to serve the armed forces for 4 years. What about the 4 years? After 4 years, only 25% of this batch will be retained and the others will be voluntarily retired. So only 25% of the batch will be recruited back, and that too, this also for a year or for just 15 years. They will be recruited back for 15 years on the basis of their performance evaluation. Then what is the main objective? The main objective of Agneepath is to induct Agniveers. Why are we doing so? Because the average age of Indian Army right now is 32 and we want to have a more youthful profile of Indian Armed Forces. So in order to decrease this average age to up to 4 to 5 years, that is up to 26 years, we are inducting Agniveers. And therefore, to bring down the average age profile is the agenda of the Agneepath scheme. Now, what is the eligibility criteria? So, any aspirant of age from 17.5 years to 23 years. Please remember this age criteria. So, this is very important to understand that these people only will be eligible to become Agniveers. Second, it is only for the officers of personnel below the rank, below officer ranks or below the rank of commissioned officers. So, that is why they will not be made lieutenant general, commanders, etc. They will be given the officers or the positions below the officer rank. Okay. Then what are the benefits for the Agniveer? So while they are working, they will be working for 4 years, and for the first year they will be working for a package of 4.7 lakhs. Eventually after the 4th year it will be raised up to 6 lakh rupees. This is the salary package for them, and while they are in the service they will also be getting life insurance worth 48 lakh rupees. And after 4 years, that is after they are voluntarily retired, that's when a one-time Seva Nidhi package will be given to them of approximately 12 lakh rupees. So this will also ensure their social security. In the case of death, they will get a payout of about 1 crore rupees, including pay for the unserved tenure. Then after their training is completed, after their service duration is completed, that is after 4 years, for those who have not been able to make up to the 25%, they will be rehabilitated into the mainstream industry because they will be provided by some bridge courses or some skill certificates as well, so that they also become industry ready. So this was all about today's discussion. This was all about Agneepath scheme. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you so much and have a nice day.